back to my crafting world. This is Anna. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with me through the month of August, because it seems like something was going on for the entire month. I was either sick, I got in a car accident, the AC went out. I mean, just all kinds of craziness going on, but it looks like the worst is behind me. I still feel just a tiny bit sick, but the worst is behind me, like I said, and I actually feel like crafting. I ordered this one, and then I also ordered this one. This one I was going to use with the Mente Vacation, and that paper pad went in a totally different direction. So I'm still going to save this one. I think I am going to use this maybe on a mini album, or there's something that I may do something different with that. But for now, I am going to use the square one. And I know you guys have seen on Pinterest the picture frames with the trees in the center, formed out of all kinds of old jewelry and things like that. Well, I thought I would do a miniature version, and I'm going to use buttons on mine. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this frame and I'm going to paint it a pink. Guys, most everything is going to be pink this year for Christmas. So I'm going to paint this picture frame pink, and instead of having a patterned paper or solid colored background, I'm going to take, this is another thing that you can get through ASC Crafts. This is the Cora acetate. This is really thick acetate, and I love to have a sheet or two in my stash for things like this when I just feel like using acetate instead of paper. So it's a good thing to have in your stash. So I cut a piece. This is 3.5 by 5. So what I'm going to glue this to the back after I paint the frame. I'm going to glue this to the back like this, and I'm going to use the red line tape and glue so that it doesn't come off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my tree in the center of the acetate, and I've already gotten all my buttons, all my pink buttons out of my button jar. And I'm going to use all pink buttons. Of course, I will probably put in some pearls or, something different, not just the buttons, but this is going to form my tree. Now, I'm not sure, I got this one from Sherry in one of our swabs. Thank you, Sherry. This may be, I may cut off the shank on the back and use this for the top of the tree. But I kind of feel like since it's got this bow here, I'm not too crazy about how it looks. So I'll have to see once I put my tree together. Or I can use this for the star of the tree. We'll see which one I think I like better. But I'm going to use all these buttons. Well, not all the buttons, but I'm going to use pink buttons. I don't know how blue one got in there. But I am going to use pink buttons to form the tree. Now, I don't trust myself freehand. So what I did was I cut a piece of cardstock. And this cardstock, I made just a simple, cone tree, if you will. And I'm going to put that right there. I'll show you when I get to that point. But I'm going to put it right there underneath the acetate, so I can see the outline. I'm actually going to cut it out and place it where I want it. And then I'm going to glue the buttons, on the outline of the tree. I'm not sure what I'm going to use for the trunk yet, but, again, we'll think of that when we get there. And then remove the paper because it's going to be glued underneath. Of course, I'm going to remove the liner that it has, and I'll be able to see that tree so I can see where to place my buttons. So I'm really excited about this because I've always seen the big ones, and I've always actually wanted to make a big one, but I've just never got around to it, and I thought, you know what, wouldn't it be cool if I made a small one? And again, I don't know if I want this to be an ornament or more than likely, I think I want it to be an ornament on the tree, but I'm not sure yet. So I pulled out a few things that I think I might use. Now this is the only pink I have, and this is way too loud for the color of pink that I want. So I'm gonna mix some white in there. So I'm not gonna use a whole lot of this pink, but I'm going to probably use more white than the pink. And guys, you know I do not do mixed media well. I have a rag here to clean stuff up with. I don't do mixed media very well, so we'll see what, hopefully I'm not gonna ruin this beautiful frame here. So let me put some white in there, quite a bit of white. I'm sure that'll be enough for, and I'm using, I can't finish a thought here. I'm sure that'll be enough for the frame. If I think I need the pink to be a little darker, I will put more pink in there, but let me mix this up and see what color pink I get. I want to make sure that I mix enough to cover my frame. I think I will probably need 2 coats on there, and this is still darker than I want. Yeah, it's still darker than I want. So I'm going to continue to mix this. I am using a thinner brush so that I don't miss any of the little crevices. Clean my brush a little bit. So I am going to give it, I'm scared. So I'm going to give it 1 coat, let it dry, and then add another coat because I don't want all those brush strokes on there. And I want it to be a little darker than what it looks like it's going on. All right, guys, that is what one coat of paint looks like. I'm going to let this dry. I'm probably going to use my my dryer to dry it off and then put another coat on there, and I will show you what that looks like. 3 coats of paint, and it's pretty dry. So what I'm gonna do next is give you a tip. I don't know how many of you may do this or not, but I did use my big scissors to cut something super sticky that I put on the back of the frames that I will show you here in just a second. And the scissors got kind of sticky. So, you know what I do, the quickest way for me to clean sticky off of scissors, of course, is with alcohol. But instead of, you know, spraying it or, you know, and then keep rub. So what I do is I always have a bottle of alcohol in my craft area. All I do is I stick my scissors in there, guys. That's why I didn't use it for the other adhesive that I used on the frame, because it was really super sticky. And these are the Teflon or the non-stick ones, and all I do is wipe it down after I let it sit in there for, you know, just a few minutes. I generally do about 5, and then sometimes I forget. But once you wipe it down, all the sticky is gone without having to, you know, rub, and your scissors are no longer sticky. So I thought I would share that tip with you guys, and because it's so much easier to do it that way. Anyway, so here is my frame. What I put on the back, guys, I was going to use red line tape, and then I remembered I had some of this carpet tape. This stuff is so super strong. You know, it's made to glue down carpets. So I took a strip and I cut it up and I put it on the back. So now what I'm going to do is place my acetate on there. But before I do that, I decided that what I was going to do was add, you know, a little hanging element to it, so that if I do decide to hang it, I can do that. But I'm going to put this right there so that I can hang it if I want to. All right, there we go. So I'm not going to remove this just yet. I needed to remove the front though, because that's what I'm going to work on. So I am going to put some tape on the back of my tree, and I'm going to tape it down so it doesn't move on me while I'm working. I'm going to tape it down to the acetate, but it does have that protective film on there. So when I remove the film, I'll remove the entire thing here. Okay, so let me see where I don't know why I'm kind of shaky today. I don't know why. Okay, so again, I'm going to bring this closer to me and center it where I want it, guys. So what I did was I laid the black tree down with the tape facing up, and then I centered it where I wanted it, and then I just pressed down to where the tape is sticking to this backing right here. And when I remove this backing, the whole thing will come off. Okay, I'm not going to do that just yet because I need the tree you know, taped down. So that's about where it's going to go. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my buttons, you know, and that may still look okay because it is a different color, so we'll see. What I'm going to do is start gluing down my button. I think I'm going to use this button for the trunk. That's pretty. So I will use that just for the trunk. And then what I'm going to do, guys, is I am going to start to glue buttons down just randomly. I don't like that one. I'm just going to randomly start gluing buttons down. This one has something on there. All right, everyone, so here is the first layer of my tree. I am going to layer some of the, or fill in some of the empty spots. I used E6000 because I don't know if the hot glue gun or the hot glue is going to be good enough. So I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to take more buttons and I am going to fill in some of those spaces with buttons. Okay, so I will show you what the second layer looks like as soon as I am finished with it. There is the second layer, my second button layer. I think it's turning out nicely. So I mean, I know we can see the background, but I'm hoping that let's take a sneak peek and see if it's going to look okay. Oh, what do you guys think? Oh, I think it's looking good. Okay, now we're going to dress up our tree. We're going to decorate it just a tad bit. I still need that layer on there. We're going to decorate this a little bit. I am going to use the trim that Sherry sent me. And I am going to put a garland trim on the tree. So I am going to use E6000 because I'm afraid that it won't stay if I just use the hot glue. I did use hot glue for the top layer of buttons, but I feel like it's got plenty of crevices for the hot glue to go into that it'll stick. But I'm not too sure about the trim. I don't know if it'll stick. So I'm going to glue this down slowly. I don't know if I should start on the top. Oh, and I did glue the top of my tree down. Here is my tree. I hope it was hard to glue that on there. Okay, so I had to ultimately use hot glue. I hope I didn't go overboard with the glitter balls. I kind of like it. So let's do the next thing I'm going to do is take my oil-based paint pen and wanted to go over all the little raised parts of the frame. I'm afraid to ruin it. I'm going to try that, guys. Wish me luck. I have gone over some of the raised edges with the gold paint pen. Now I need to decide if I want pink. Oh no, I don't think I want pink. Or I want gold. Yeah, the gold is gonna have to do. So I am going to glue this all the way around the inside of the frame with hot glue. So let me glue that down and I will show you what that looks like. I am finished with this little project. We are going to unveil this together and see what it really looks like. So I went over all the raised edges with the paint pen, and then I used the gold cording around the inside of the picture frame. Of course, I added the loop on the top in case I want to put it on the tree, and I probably will. Yeah, so that is what I've done to this cute little picture frame. Okay, guys, here we go. I'm so excited. I hope it still looks like a tree when I remove this. Here we go. See what the back looks like. So that's what the back looks like. Overall, that's not bad at all. Okay, guys, let's flip it over and see. Oh, how cute. Oh my gosh, it still looks like a tree, guys. I am so super duper excited. That was so easy to do, and it turns out so adorably cute. And this is trash unless I want to make another one, but here we go. Oh my goodness, guys, let me go in there a little closer. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love the way it turned out, guys. It really was easy. The hardest part is waiting for the glue to dry, but overall, I just love the way it turned out. I don't think the glitter balls was overkill. I like the way that looks, and it still looks like a tree to me. I just love it. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I loved making this project with you. And if you don't mind, if you like the way it turned out, don't forget that thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it so very much. Don't forget to visit ASC Craft Supplies. I will have all the links in the description box so you can go and get your art supplies. They have the latest Prima paper pads, and those are so much fun to have. Thanks a lot, guys.